Construction on the 15th Street Bridge in Jasper is wrapping up. More on when it might open again. Plus, Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spinner is this week's guest on Monday with the Mayor, and host Bill Potter brings us another episode of Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. Well, a key traffic corridor in Jasper is set to open again soon thanks to fast work by construction crews. DuBois County Highway Engineer Brent Windholt tells 18 News that the 15th Street Bridge could open to traffic by the end of this week, weather permitting. Windholt says he is pleased with the progress of the construction work to date.
It's going along nicely. It started off a little slow. They brought in proper manpower, and we're doing really well now. The guardrail went up last week. The asphalt approaches went in or were installed on Tuesday. So progress is going good.
Work on the 15th Street Bridge began back on October 29th. Windholt says project contractor American Contracting Incorporated of Jeffersonville had a 90-day window to complete the work from the time it started, and work is well ahead of schedule. Windholt says some form work is all that's left until the bridge can be opened. He says having this bridge open will be more convenient for folks who travel in that area routinely. He also says if all goes well, there may not be any work done on the bridge again for a long time to come.
This should add at least 25 years of life to that bridge. Before we did the work on it, the current state it had maybe 10, tops 8. But now we add at least 10, 15 more years to it, if not more, if it holds up.
Windholt says it was important to get the project done in the 90-day time frame. The other alternative was to tear down the bridge and build a new one. That process would have taken 6 to 8 months to complete. This past weekend was a busy one for local authorities, particularly Jasper police. We begin with a Jasper man being taken into custody after he was found to be driving erratically under the influence of alcohol early Saturday morning. At 1:50 a.m., a Jasper police officer saw 2 vehicles going northbound on Newton Street near 11th Street. The second vehicle was tailgating the first, and police say that vehicle was also swerving in the lane. After following the vehicles and watching the second vehicle swerve left of center numerous times, the officer turned on his emergency lights. However, the first vehicle pulled over and the second vehicle just avoided rear-ending the first, coming to a stop after hitting the curb. As the officer got out and approached the second vehicle, it pulled around the first one and accelerated northbound on Newton Street. After a short pursuit, the vehicle stopped in the 1900 block of Newton Street. The investigation found that the driver, 35-year-old Vishon Lynch, had been drinking. Lynch was taken to JPD, where a blood test found his BAC at 0.089%. Lynch was then lodged in the DuBois County Security Center. He was charged with a Class A misdemeanor for operating while intoxicated, along with a Level 6 felony for resisting law enforcement with a motor vehicle. Lynch was also cited for driving while suspended and improper passing. And then Sunday evening, another Jasper man was arrested on several charges after he was pulled over at around 7:30 last night. Shortly before that time, Jasper police received a complaint about a possibly impaired driver headed northbound on 3rd Avenue. The caller told police the driver had been all over the road, swerving left of center and nearly hitting the right side curb. An officer found the vehicle stopped on Hillary Road about 50 feet from 3rd Avenue. After that vehicle sat still for about 2 minutes, the officer activated his lights for a traffic stop. Police say the driver, 44-year-old Christopher Ewing, failed standard field sobriety tests and had a BAC of 0.275%, which is more than 3 times the legal limit. He later registered 0.326% BAC at the DuBois County Security Center. After he was taken to Memorial Hospital for medical attention and a blood draw, Ewing became belligerent and combative, and he refused giving blood samples. He also suffered a nose injury after becoming combative with officers and refused to give blood even after officers got a search warrant for it. Ewing was lodged in the DuBois County Security Center. He's facing a felony for obstruction of justice, OWI refusal. He's also charged with misdemeanors for OWI, OWI endangerment, resisting law enforcement, and disorderly conduct. New District 48 State Senator Mark Messmer says he's pleased to be part of 4 different committees for the upcoming 119th Indiana General Assembly. Messmer will serve as vice chair of the Senate Committee on Public Policy. He will also serve on the Committee on Insurance and Financial Institutions, the Committee on Agriculture, and the Committee on Natural Resources. Messmer says the committees are a very important part of how things get done in the State House every legislative session.
One of the most important parts of my job as your state senator is serving on legislative committees. Some may know about the debates between policymakers on the Senate floor, but some of the most crucial and extensive work is done in committee rooms. Committees are where much of the heavy lifting occurs during the legislative session, when lawmakers really narrow down what kind of proposed impact legislation will have on Hoosiers.
Now, there are a total of 23 standing Senate committees. Lawmakers are appointed to committees based on both their past experience and passion for various issues. Then, in a collaborative effort, committee members evaluate bills assigned to their committee. They also hear testimony from the public on issues that affect Hoosier lives. Messmer says he looks forward to serving people from all walks of life through his committee work.
I look forward to working with my colleagues as we examine ways to continue supporting these industries. By serving on each of these important committees, I'm working on behalf of all Hoosiers. If you'd like to discuss an issue covered by one of these committees, or any issue, you can contact me by telephone at 317-232-9489 or by email at senator.messmer@iga.in.gov.
All committee hearings are available for viewing online. You can go to in.gov/legislative to do so. The site will also have schedules and meeting agendas posted. Finally this evening, at least a dozen residents who live near the largest surface coal mine east of the Mississippi have complained to the Indiana Department of Environmental Management since 2012 about dust it creates, worrying that it could be hazardous. They say the dust comes from the Peabody Energy Bear Run mine in Sullivan County. However, reports say a gap in Indiana regulations requires that state officials have to personally see dust to take action against the mine. In a statement, Peabody officials say the mine operates in a safe, environmentally sound manner and complies with all state and federal air, land, and water quality permits. Meanwhile, IDEM spokesman Barry Sneed says that his agency worked appropriately to issue the air quality agreement. All right, coming up after the break, Denny Spinner is up next for Monday with the Mayor, plus your local forecast, sports with Kurt Guxell, and Inform. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.